All right, who's hungry for some freaking waffles?
Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you. I actually debated on which channel I was going to upload this video on because on one hand, we're going over a business and the business model that it has, but on the other hand, this restaurant is basically the Roman Colosseum of the South, and I'm pretty sure if you eat there enough, you actually get a deployment patch from the US military. Regardless, I wore my schnazziest tank top for the occasion.
Hell yeah.
Today we're talking about Waffle House. Okay, just to be completely clear with everybody, I was pretty sure I was not going to get caught off guard because Waffle House is already absolutely crazy. I started looking into it and then found out that Waffle House is somehow connected to the Manhattan Project from World War II. So they managed to actually surprise me, and we're going to get to it right after a word from our sponsor.
Now, can I just say I've been to Waffle House. I've been to Waffle House plenty of times. There's a Waffle House within a few miles of where I am. So not even a few, a couple. Like it's like a mile, maybe two away from me. However, that one I've only tried to beat. I've only tried to get there like a couple times, and every time I go, it's full. I can't get in the dang door because it's full of people. We're in Texas, so you know there's gonna be a Waffle House within 5-10 minutes of driving distance.
Yeah, babe, what's up?
Hey, I need a boombox.
Okay, I can go get you one.
A boombox.
All right, I'll go get it now. Love you.
Love you.
I mean, are boomboxes? I guess boomboxes are still around.
1 hour later.
Where's that boombox that I asked for?
Oh, it's right here. I got it for you.
That's not a boombox.
What is this?
The boombox.
No, I wanted something to play music with.
Oh, that kind of boombox. Yeah, I got this instead.
Okay, we'll go to the store and get me a boombox so I can listen to music.
Can I keep this one still?
I don't care.
Yes.
This video is brought to you by Delete Me. Okay, super simple business model. You give them money,
I mean,
they turn
hey,
around and they make sure that online data brokers
he's
are
still
not selling
got
your personal
something he wanted, I guess.
online. Okay, here's the deal. Pretty much anytime you use a free service,
But once again, though,
click that
I
little
mean,
box that says, I agree to the terms
I don't
and
think I've
conditions. You
ever-
basically just agreed to allow them to harvest as much of your personal information as humanly possible.
I've had boom boxes in the past. I've never needed
When you have Delete Me, they go and they monitor all of these online data brokers for your personal
But I guess, you know, if you
information,
want to
and then
play
if they
some
find it,
music and
they
you want to
submit
play
all the opt-out forms on your behalf,
at
so
a
they have to
decent
take
volume
down
and you don't want to have
submitting that
headphones on, then
information.
yeah.
So when you buy Delete Me, you're not actually buying anything. You're just buying your way out of all the negative
Yeah.
consequences of all the free shit that you've already gotten. And because they continue to monitor those data brokers, you're buying yourself out of all the future negative consequences of all the free
But,
shit that you haven't even gotten yet. So if you want to
I don't think I've
try
ever
this
heard
video,
of a
link in the discount
freaking
code down
rifle
below.
called a
Let's get back to the
boombox, but
video.
hey, whatever.
All right, Waffle House. Our story begins with a gentleman by the name of Tom Faulkner. This man graduated from law school at 23 years old, passed the bar, and immediately gets drafted in 1940 in the days leading up to
Damn.
World War II. Because he graduated from college, he's presented with two different options. He can A, go straight into officer training, and that's a 3-year commitment, or he can just be a normal draftee and go in as an enlisted soldier, and that is a 1-year commitment. Now you gotta remember, at this point in time, like 1940, while World War II is currently going on, America's not involved yet. The attack on Pearl Harbor has not happened, and prior
Okay.
to the attack on Pearl Harbor, the American people did not want to go to war. Because of that, Tom Faulkner figures, hey, we're not actually going off to war. I don't want to waste 3 years of my time just being in the military, not actually, you know, fighting a war or whatever. So he chooses to be a draftee. Goes into the military as an enlisted soldier, E1 private. From there, goes off to basic training. As soon as he gets through basic training, the attack on Pearl Harbor ends up happening. America enters the war. He immediately opts to go into OCS training and commits for 3 years. After he completes the officer training course, he actually gets slotted to be a counterintelligence officer, where he does, and I quote, a lot of top secret stuff.
You see, my identity
A
must
lot of
remain
top
mysterious and my mission secret. I cannot reveal it to you.
You can actually tell in the interviews that he gave later on in his life, like in his 70s, 80s, and 90s, that he's still not sure what he is and what he isn't allowed to talk about. But he did end up telling us that basically it was his job to try to sneak onto military bases, not as military personnel. So he would basically disguise himself as like a painter or a carpenter or whatever, and try to infiltrate a U.S. military base to expose weaknesses.
Yeah,
within
to
the
look for
system
any
to help
holes.
counteract enemy spies. So he does that for a couple of years, and then one day he ends up getting orders like, hey, you're going to Knoxville, Tennessee. And he's like, okay, for what? And they're like, don't fucking worry about it, just show up. So he shows up in Tennessee and he's given his orders.
Yes, sir.
And those orders,
Sir,
I'm
yes, sir.
paraphrasing here, but they're essentially, hey, here's your partner. You two are gonna hop in that truck and you are gonna drive it from Knoxville, Tennessee to Los Alamos, New Mexico. You guys are gonna dress in plain clothes. You're not gonna look at what's inside the truck. You're not gonna talk about what's inside the truck. You're gonna take this map and take that exact route. This route avoids every major city and every major highway. You are gonna drive straight there 53 hours straight, taking turns sleeping in the passenger seat and not stopping.
53 hours of non-stop driving
for any reason whatsoever. And he does this for the next year and a half on the highway. You were going to drive straight there 53 hours straight, taking turns sleeping in the passenger seat and not stopping for any reason.
God dang, could you imagine 53 hours on the road non-stop? I'm assuming maybe bathroom breaks, but still, though.
Whatsoever. And he does this for the next year and a half, pretty much nonstop. And then
year
like 20,
and a
30
half.
years after the fact, he finds out that he was actually hauling the majority of the enriched uranium for all of the nuclear testing and the building of nuclear weapons. Which, as we all know, brings about the end of World War II, at which point he gets out of the military, moves back home to Atlanta, Georgia, starts helping his dad out with his real estate agency. Now, he does that for about 10 years, and during this time, he ends up selling the house right next door to his to another guy by the name of Joe Rogers, and they pretty much become best friends. Joe Rogers was also an Army veteran. He was actually a pilot that flew B-24s in World War II. When Joe got back home after the war, he did not want to go off to college, so he actually just took the first job that he was offered, being a short order cook at a now defunct restaurant chain known as Toddle House. He worked his way up, becoming a restaurant manager, then eventually becoming a regional manager. And then one day, his neighbor and best friend, Tom Faulkner, real estate agent, always looking for the next investment, comes to him and is like, hey, I'm thinking about opening up my own restaurant. I can get the real estate deal going on that side. I just wanted to know, like, if I opened up and bought a franchise of Toddle House, would you be willing to run it for me? Now, at this point, it's like 1954, 1955. Joe Rogers has a ton of experience inside the restaurant industry, and he basically tells his best friend, like, hey, don't open a Toddle House. You should start your own thing. Toddle House's business model isn't that great. If you start your own restaurant, I will help you run it. He then goes off on vacation with his family, and by the time he comes back, Tom Faulkner has already bought the real estate and comes to Rogers and is like, cool, what's the business we're starting?
Where's Pancake's house?
What?
We stop at Pancake's house.
And within the span of like 6 months, the very first of what is now the legendary restaurant chain of Waffle House opens. And Waffle House is legendary.
Dude, look at the design is slightly different, obviously, but it's still very familiar.
For all the wrong reasons. I mean, even if you've never been to a Waffle House, you've heard about Waffle House because, well, I mean, Kid Rock got in a fight there. You've got Haley Booth, the
yeah. Yeah.
Waffle House cook known as the Last Chairbender. There's entire subreddits and YouTube channels almost exclusively dedicated to all the fights that break out at Waffle House. I remember the first time I went to a Waffle House. I stretched first, I grabbed a GoPro, I was ready to yell World Star, Nothing exciting happened. I just had delicious breakfast at like 3 o'clock in the morning, which is probably 99% of people's experiences because despite all of the negative PR, Waffle House makes a ton of money and has an incredible business model.
I don't think they have like a lot of negative PR. It's just, there are some people that go to Waffle House, they go there drunk or high or whatever, and they throw hands, either with other customers or with staff. A lot.
Okay, Waffle House had about $1.4 billion in revenue last year, which is about $650,000 per location. And when you take into consideration that each Waffle House is absolutely tiny, that's really impressive. Out of their 2,100 tiny Waffle House locations, their yearly stats are 58 million cups of coffee, 124 million waffles, 153 million servings of hash browns, 272 million eggs, which is about 2% of all the eggs consumed in the United States of America, and 85 million strips of bacon. Yes, I did the math. That is about 8,000 miles worth of bacon.
That's a lot of bacon. Once again, though, I've been to Waffle House before. I've been there multiple times. They're pretty damn good. They are quick. They are, most of the time, good. and they have probably my favorite freaking hash browns because you can always tell them to freaking crisp those hash browns, make them crispy instead of. I'm sorry, I don't want to eat hash browns that are just lightly brown, and then the center is just uncooked potato. I want my freaking hash browns crispy, damn it.
Worry what you just heard was, give me a lot of bacon and eggs. What I said was, give me all the bacon and eggs you have.
So Waffle House
That's
is obviously doing something right. What exactly are they doing? Well, it all comes down to their business model and their branding. Now, with the Waffle House branding, all the negative PR about fights always breaking out at Waffle House, in a way, has actually helped them out a ton because Waffle House, by and large, is pretty much a regional chain. It's
Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so yeah, I mean, look at that. 100. I mean, that's close to where the center of it anyway. So I'm not surprised there's 150 locations in this area, I guess. I'm assuming that's what this means, that there's 4 stores, 15, 5, 55. 55 seems a bit... Actually, no, that doesn't sound too far-fetched. I was about to say that sounded a little low, but I'm not too... yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised. I mean, yeah, it is big, but 55... Houston is big. 55 is a lot for the area. But once again, you know, you're within driving distance of at least one Waffle House. But I'm more looking at like this. Okay, this is look at this. 150 here. Is this 462 here? That can't be right. This can't be the number. That is ridiculous amount right there. I mean, that is Georgia. Is it really 462 locations? I'm kind of actually curious. Hold on. Let's do this. Hold on. All right, that is Atlanta, so I guess I can't be too surprised. Let's zoom in on Atlanta. All right, it doesn't seem to be that many. I don't know. Maybe it's no, it can't be the state because then it would just be one. I don't know. I don't know what 462. I don't think that's 462 locations. 55 doesn't sound too crazy. 55 sounds about right. But a 462 in Atlanta? I don't know.
primarily down in the South, yet Waffle House has become a household name pretty much everywhere in America. You could have never even seen a Waffle House, and you already know Waffle House is open 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, and they serve breakfast. Why do you know they serve breakfast? Because their name
it's a
is
Waffle
fucking
House.
Waffle House. I mean, look at this sign. You're driving down the road,
Waffle
you see
House.
that, you know everything you need to know.
They
sell
have like 24 things on the menu, and that's it. You have like 24 freaking things on the menu, and that's it.
Breakfast, the end. Do that with another breakfast place. If you're not from there and you don't know what a Denny's or a Perkins or an IHOP is, you have no idea. It's just a restaurant, maybe. Waffle House, they're selling waffles, which means there's like a 99% chance they sell other breakfast food. Fucking sold. I'm in. So already, the branding is absolutely incredible, but here's the true genius of it. Why did they call it Waffle House? Why didn't they call it Breakfast House or Bacon House or Hash Brown House? It's because waffles had the highest profit margin. I cannot stress to you enough how absolutely
Their waffles are pretty damn big, though. Considering, you know, normal waffles you'll get from like a Denny's or whatever. Their waffles at Waffle House are pretty big.
Yes, that is, right? Because you don't need to sell breakfast, all right? Everybody's already in on breakfast, okay? I could be blacked
I will say that I
at 4
prefer
in the
having
morning,
like
and you
2.
can ask me, hey, do you want breakfast? I'm coming up like the Undertaker every single time. And then you go, the only thing open right now is Waffle House, okay? I was already sold on breakfast from the get-go, but because Waffle House is where we're going, guess what I'm getting?
Now I do want to go to Waffle House.
And they're making more money. money. It makes sense that Tom Faulkner was a
I could go
counterintelligence
now.
officer because the man literally said 2 words and has already subconsciously tricked you into
'Cause they're
ordering
open.
the most expensive thing on the menu that makes him the most money. So the branding of Waffle House is both simple
I had to make sure I
and
take a
brilliant,
weapon
and the
with
rest of the business model matches that to a T. Okay, all Waffle Houses are like virtually identical. They're very
Yeah.
small. They only seat like 30 people, and you can actually see the cook making you your food. Now, at a glance, you're just like, oh, they're just going for that like 1950s drive-through type of a vibe, which they are, but there's way
Yeah.
more to it than that. Because
Yeah.
the restaurant is so small, the kitchen never has the opportunity to get bogged down, meaning that they're moving tables very, very quickly. So instead of having one kitchen and 100 customers, you've got one kitchen and 30 customers, and you can just turn those tables over 3 times faster, which pretty much guarantees that every customer is going to get exactly what they wanted. Okay, they're not going in there for 5-star dining. They're going in there because they're hungry and they want breakfast, and now they're going to get breakfast really quick in a small setting that doesn't feel like a packed restaurant where they have to wait in line
Yeah.
to be seated. And I know what you're thinking. What if one Waffle House just reaches its maximum capacity, right? What if it's just completely full with a line out the door,
They're gonna do. Oh no, I think I know what he's. Hold on.
24/7
Just do it.
every day of the year? Waffle House surely would build a bigger Waffle House, right?
No.
We're gonna take the same parking
No.
lot, and right next to that first Waffle House, we're gonna build a second fucking Waffle House, okay? The plan is working, and if it's not broke, don't fix it.
I mean, it's a cookie cutter. They follow the plan, so they just build another one. And then if you still need more, they just build another one. And it just freaking works.
Which is one of those things that seems dumb, but is actually brilliant. So obviously speed is key to this business model, and they've done themselves a big favor with their menu because their menu is overwhelmingly simple, okay? It's literally one side of one piece of paper. Okay, the entire menu is comprised of like 10 things. They have waffles,
Okay, I thought it was
sausage,
actually
bacon,
I thought it was actually more than that. I thought it was actually like a couple dozen things on here. But yeah, I guess you could say just a dozen.
ham, eggs, toast, biscuits, gravy, butter, and syrup.
All of it's so good.
Guess how many flavors of syrup they have? 1. It's fucking syrup-flavored syrup. The entire menu is simple, exactly how it's supposed to be. Oh, sorry, they have hash browns too. Sorry, 11 things, not 10. Anyways, moving on. Another reason they do so good is they actually might be the best fast food chain when it comes to taking care of their employees. They pay them
Really?
higher than average. They have super flexible
Nice.
schedules, and they're one of, if not the only fast food chain that actually offers all their employees healthcare and dental insurance. I know what you're thinking. You're like, okay, but really, how good are they actually treating the Waffle House employees? I got the one stat that's everything you need to know, okay? Waffle House treats their employees so well that employees are willing to commute into a natural disaster to work at a different Waffle House when the occasion arises. Yeah, Waffle House is open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and they fucking mean it, okay? Whenever there's like a hurricane coming or some type of impending natural disaster, Waffle House organizes what they call a jump team, a bunch of Waffle House employees from a different region that's going to be unaffected because they know that their local employees are going to be busy taking care of their own family and their own houses during a hurricane.
You know,
so they bring in teams from outside the
I could freaking respect that 100 freaking %, man. Because, I mean, okay. For those that haven't been through a natural disaster or worked through a natural disaster, yeah, you are freaking battening down the hatches and staying at home. And I'm sorry, you gotta protect your family and your home and everything. When you get those jobs that force their employees to basically hunker down at work, that's some BS right there. That I can respect what freaking Waffle House is doing.
region to work inside of a natural fucking disaster, and they're willing to do it.
I never said thank you.
Okay.
And you'll never have to.
Okay, McDonald's can barely get their employees to show up on a good day, and Waffle House has employees volunteering to
That's because McDonald's doesn't really treat their employees like people.
to commute into a fucking hurricane to make breakfast. And this is the most impressive part of the business because Waffle House has the best logistics and preparedness of any company I've ever seen ever. The only entity that beats them in logistical capacity is the United States military. Waffle House is literally ready for absolutely anything. Every single Waffle House has the playbook inside of it that details exactly how the staff is supposed to handle literally any type of
Dude, I actually kind of want to
emergency
see
or
this
situation
playbook.
that could possibly arise. And if for some reason the situation comes across that isn't in
I
that
actually kind of want
playbook,
to see the
after it
playbook.
happens, they immediately add it to the playbook. It covers tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, a hole in the roof from a branch falling, a car driving into the restaurant. You can drive a car into
damn it.
Waffle House and they're still planning on staying open. The playbook even has detailed plans for every type of disaster for what the local employees, while they're not working, should go home and do to make sure that their house and their family are safe as well. Every single Waffle House has a backup generator. The stovetop
Really?
it runs on propane, and they have a bunch of extra propane tanks on hand. Flashlights, candles, batteries, backup water. They have a special menu of what they're able to serve when the
Backup
water
water?
is out and they're running on reserve water. When a
Okay,
Waffle
you could definitely tell that this business was designed by people that were in the military. You can 100% see it. Yeah.
location is going
God
to be in a
damn.
disaster area. That Waffle House stocks up on extra food, and then all of the neighboring locations in the unaffected
And you know
area
what?
also
I'm sorry.
stock up and stage food there to get
And I'm sorry. You know what? I think most businesses, most food businesses should do stuff like that. Prepare for when stuff hits the fan.
them more food when they need it. If Waffle House is a standing structure, those motherfuckers are serving breakfast come hell or high water.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
Yeah, especially in Iraq. Especially in the South. Yes, because, you know, we're getting hurricanes like crazy.
Waffle House is so good at this that FEMA uses them to gauge how bad natural disasters really are. Yes, FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, literally uses the Waffle House Index to gauge how
Wait a
bad
minute. Wait a minute. I didn't even look at the map, but that literally is what it's called, the Waffle House Index. Holy crud.
to gauge how bad a disaster is. Okay, green, Waffle House is running as normal. Yellow, Waffle House is using the backup generator or having to use an altered menu. Red, Waffle House is closed. People are probably already fucking dead by that point. Waffle House is literally the Terminator of the fast food industry, okay? The fact that the federal government, probably the most powerful entity on the planet, maybe ever, looks at a chain of restaurants and is like, man, if Waffle House is closed, we need to mobilize the National Guard is fucking crazy. Now, maybe you guys are thinking the same thing I was at this point in my research, and I'm like, man, I need to invest in this company. I need to see if I can open up my own Waffle House franchise. This company's awesome. And this is where the bad news comes in.
They're not, are they?
You can franchise a Waffle House, but most of us probably can't. The company is privately owned. It's not on the stock market. It's still owned by the
This is why this company works as well as it does. It's not publicly owned. They are not having to listen to shareholders.
Families of the original two founders. And while they do allow franchises,
Who think they know what they're
super
talking
picky
about
who
but
they
have
let
no
buy
idea.
in to have a franchise, and they make it very, very expensive to buy in to make sure this is actually what you want. And while that is unfortunate, I think it's actually kind of awesome. It's a company that actually
100%
has
awesome.
morals and cares about their image more than they care about next quarter's profits, okay? It's a company that has committed themselves to making breakfast under any circumstances, and they're gonna see that through till the very end.
The day that Waffle House becomes publicly traded is the day that it changes. It'll be the day that they expand the menu, add in flavored syrup and all kinds of BS.
Even though they could probably make way more money by just selling franchises and letting whoever the fuck throw up a Waffle House. And now for the fairy tale ending, Joe and Tom worked together as best friends for 62 years to build Waffle House
62
into what it is
years?
today. They both passed away at the ages of
God
97
damn.
and 98, and now Waffle House and their legacy lives on as that company is still being operated by their kids. And that
Hell yeah.
is the American dream. Get together with one of your best friends, pick a goal, even if it's something as simple as serving breakfast to people, and never let anything get in between you and achieving your
Yeah.
goal. Even hurricanes and floods and natural disasters, apparently. Work with your best buddy for 62 years straight and then die
damn, dude.
together and hand it off to your kids. In conclusion, Waffle House is the most American company ever, and that's why I love it. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out.
God dang, dude.
Just two homies that dedicated their life to serving my drunk ass breakfast at 3 a.m. I'm gonna get teary-eyed next time I go to a Waffle House.
Right? Right? Dude, that is crazy. That is crazy. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. He has... Okay. We're not watching this today. We are not watching this today, but we will be watching the video on HEB sooner or later.